Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Cohn. I work at SnapStream here in Houston, Texas. I appreciate you being on the call today. What we're going to be discussing is exactly as it says. We're going to talk about how we work with the Golf Channel to set up a SnapStream Cloud account where they can watch and clip their TV feeds from anywhere in the world. A few housekeeping notes before we go ahead and get started. If you want to ask questions at any time, you can use that little widget on the GoToWebinar application. It says questions. You can ask your questions right there. My colleague Brian is standing by to answer any questions that you have. If you want to put something out to the group, you can use that chat window right there as well. That will allow you to send a message to the group that's on the call as well. You can also direct message us in that way. So please feel free to ask any questions, even as I'm talking, that you have. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about anything that we're talking about here. So we'll go ahead and get started. Who are we, first of all? SnapStream is a technology company. We're based, as I mentioned, right here out of Houston, Texas. We love television. We love technology. We're a whole bunch of technophiles. I hesitate to use the word nerds, but we are a bunch of technophiles here down in Houston, and we love what we do, and we love making it easy for people to be able to access the content they need, be able to search through large volumes of content to find what they're looking for. The SnapStream software and hardware, in a nutshell, how it works is you take your TV source. This is an important thing to note. We don't provide any TV sources. You would provide whatever your television source is, whether it's a cable box, an antenna feed, an IPTV feed, any number of different sources we can take in. The SnapStream system will record that content, and then via the network, anybody can access that television recordings. Now, we'll go into detail about how you can access them, how you can search through them, and so forth. But in a nutshell, that's how the system works. Now, what we're going to be talking about specifically today is actually not the local appliance. We're going to be talking about SnapStream Cloud. SnapStream Cloud is not unlike the local appliance in that it takes in your TV source and records that content, makes it searchable. The only difference is rather than an on-premise hardware, we're actually taking that source and sending it up to the cloud. So you can see the TV source will be connected to a SnapStream encoder, or if you have a proprietary encoder that you're using, you can use that encoder. As long as we can get that source into the SnapStream Cloud instance, we can record that content, search it, do everything I'm about to show you, but it is all in the cloud. Now, why would you want to do that? The big reason you would want to do that is rather than being tied to your network, you can access SnapStream Cloud wherever you are. So you can be on the road, you can be in the office, you can be in a hotel room, you can be at home, wherever. You're going to be able to access SnapStream Cloud. And the really nice thing, too, is you can also access it via mobile. So you can access via Android, via iPad, via iOS, whatever you're accessing the internet, you are going to have the capability to be able to access your television feeds, be able to search, clip, do everything I'm about to show you inside SnapStream wherever you are. If you have any questions about how SnapStream works, please don't hesitate to ask them now. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have. But I did want to kind of show you the back end of how the hardware actually is set up. Now, the front end of the software is actually going to be very familiar to you if you have a DVR system. I'm sure quite a lot of you do. We create a DVR front end, a program guide for the channels that you have access to. So if you have an antenna lineup, you can have that antenna, those channels. If you have a cable lineup, we'll build out that program guide for whatever your source may be. Even if it's an IP source, we can build out a program guide for that IP source. Now, you're going to set your recordings not unlike you would your home DVR, where you can say, I want to record Street Outlaws, or I want to record the O'Reilly Factor. And you'll see there'd be a red dot. And I'll show you again in the software here in a moment what that actually looks like in the software. But it's essentially, if you can set your home DVR, you can set the SnapStream to record the content that's important to you as well. The really nice thing is our software will handle channel changing, so you don't have to worry about changing the channel. and it'll make sure that there's no conflicts between the recordings that you're making. As it says, you can be anywhere from one channel all the way up to hundreds of channels if that's what you're looking for. The great thing about our software, and especially about SnapStream Cloud, is it's built to expand. So if you initially have 2 channels that you're recording concurrently and you need 4, we can do that very, very easily for you. Now, what happens after you've recorded that content? Well, we make it so you can search through those recordings in the same way that you might search through Google. So if you want to find specific media mentions for your company, for your team, for whatever you care about, you can set up alerts, you can set up search terms, and actually search really, really specifically for the content that you're looking for. Now, I hesitate to drop names, but I will do it here in this case where we are the technology that the Daily Show, that Last Week Tonight, that Colbert use to be able to find the media mentions that they put into their shows. So this is how they create their segments. Rather than having a intern or something sit there for 100 hours searching for that perfect piece of clip, they can do a quick search and find the exact clip they're looking for, clip it out, put it into their media management system or their Avid or Premiere system, and be able to really quickly take that content and be able to use it however they choose to do that. We use that term over and over, find that needle in a haystack. It allows you to search through thousands of hours in just a few seconds. Now, once you've found that content, what can you do with it? Well, I've started mentioning here. Well, you can snip it out. We have no limit to the amount of clips you can create with your recordings. So if you need to be clipping things all day long, there's no per price clipping. There's no, or excuse me, per clip pricing. You can be creating those clips all day long. And once you've done that, again, you can send it to your Avid, your Premiere, or you can send it to your social media. We have functionality to be able to push that content incredibly, incredibly quickly to Twitter, to Facebook, to YouTube, and we're always adding to our social media functionality in the software. It's incredibly, incredibly easy. And the really nice thing, especially for social media, is that you can actually be right in the moment of live television, be clipping content, be grabbing screenshots, be making clips and making GIFs. You can do all this in real time with the recordings that you're currently working with. I did have a question that came in here. Someone said, can they search for a 3-word phrase? Absolutely. Not only can you search for a 3-word phrase, you can use search qualifiers to search only on certain channels or only on only certain days or certain shows specifically. You can search very, very specifically. We've built out a lot of functionality to be able to search very, very specifically for the content you're looking for. And in the same way that you can use Boolean search terminology on Google, you can use Boolean search terminology here on SnapStream as well. So you can do and statements, you can do or statements. And to answer your question to the person who posed the question, if you have a phrase, you can go ahead and put that in quotes, and it's only going to come back with the media mentions that hit on that specific phrase. So that's the main functionality that we're talking about here with SnapStream. I'm going to go here in just a moment into what we're talking about today, which is the Golf Channel and how they use SnapStream Cloud. We do have one additional question here. Someone had asked, is this an audio to text technology? The answer to that, thank you, that's a great question. No, it is not. We're not transcribing that text in real time. What we are actually doing is we're taking in that closed captioning that you would get as the same as if you were to hit the closed captioning button on your remote control. We're taking in that closed captioning, we're cleaning it up, we're making it a little bit more readable. As you probably know, when you're reading the captions, sometimes they'll all be capitalized or maybe no periods, formal nouns are not capitalized and so forth. So we're cleaning it up, making it as readable as possible, and then displaying it to you. Now that happens in fractions of seconds. So as soon as it's set on television, it's available there, it's searchable, and it's indexed inside your SnapStream software. It's a great question. Thank you so much for that question. If there's any more questions, please keep them coming. They're really, really great. Now, let's talk about the Golf Channel. The Golf Channel is a customer of ours, and they came to us with an issue. They said they want to be able to allow their executives and their on-air talent to be able to watch their content when they're traveling. And they travel all over the world. If you're a golf fan, you probably know there's golf all around the world. There's in the UK and Ireland and Scotland, everywhere they have golf tournaments throughout the year. So they initially had two options before they come to us with this problem. Well, they could watch at night when it aired locally. Whenever that aired, they'd be able to watch it, but it's usually in the middle of the night. It could be really inconvenient for them. Or they could sit inside the network satellite trucks. Not a great option. And again, you're at the end of the day, you'd be dealing with whatever the time difference was for those recordings. So what was the solution? Well, we threw out the idea of using SnapStream Cloud to be able to access these feeds. Now, the cool thing about this, the perfect situation for them, is that it's built for on-demand access, as it says. So when they're playing, you can be watching that content live. It's also recording that content, so you can be able to review it later. We've put encoders at the Orlando studios that push their streams to SnapStream Cloud. They're able, which as I'll show you in just a minute, to log into their web browser, whatever web browser they want, whatever OS they want, to be able to log into the SnapStream Cloud account and be able to access not only the live TV, but the DVR content, be able to even search through that content in the same way that we were just talking about using closed captionings. So they can watch that live and DVR content, clip it, share it, on all of their devices. Now that includes laptops, as it says, iPads, iPhones, and hotel room TVs. Now how do they do that? Well, we put the software for them on an Amazon Fire Stick, and they can plug that into the back of their TV at whatever hotel or house they're at, and be able to view that content on their Amazon Fire Stick. So the results were immediate for them. They were able to collaborate 24/7 across the globe. They can, in real time, they can watch that content from their studio, on the road, wherever they are, and they can easily review, the directors can easily review the work and share notes to their colleagues about the content that went live. You can see a couple of quotes from our friends there at the Golf Channel, talking about how it's an easy product to use. Anyone can pick it up and use it. It's really a straightforward and simple product. And there, our friend Dustin said it just works. It's a great product. So we appreciate those quotes for them. And then the beautiful thing about this is it really integrates nicely with their existing workflow. You can set this up for a Avid or Premiere workflow, or export workflow, or be able to share that content however you normally are doing that today. We can integrate into that workflow and make it very, very easy for these clips and these recordings to be able to interact with your existing workflows. Now, if anybody has any questions about anything I've been talking about with regard to the Golf Channel, SnapStream in general, please don't hesitate to ask. Go ahead, use that questions window on GoToWebinar. My colleague Brian is standing by to answer any questions, so please keep the questions coming. I see them continue to roll in here as we're talking. Now, this is what the Golf Channel SnapStream Cloud setup looks like, and it's going to echo kind of what I said right at the beginning. Is they're taking in those set-top box content as well as clear QAM content, which is their studio feeds and so forth, and they're going directly into the SnapStream Cloud encoders. SnapStream encoders. They have 2 encoders. Each of those take in 4 sources, so they have 5 sources total that are being sent to the SnapStream Cloud account. SnapStream Cloud account, again, is in the cloud. You just point your encoders directly to the cloud, and then the SnapStream Cloud instance records that content. Then the actual end users, no matter where they are, whether you can see they're in England or the US or wherever they happen to be, can access that content via their phone, their tablet, their TV, or the Amazon Fire Stick that we've loaded up with the SnapStream software. This Amazon Fire Stick was a new test for us, and it's worked out perfectly because it's very easy to get connected to the internet no matter where you are, and throw it right there into an HDMI input. So we always say here at SnapStream, seeing is believing. You know, I can talk about it all day long, but it's not going to do as much as actually seeing the SnapStream software. So I'm going to jump out of the slides here and actually jump into the SnapStream Cloud instance. If you, again, keep the questions coming, we love these questions. I see there's a question right now I'll answer really quickly before we jump into the software. Someone said, when using a third-party H.264 encoder to push content to SnapStream Cloud, how do you get closed caption into the cloud? It's a great question, and my colleague will go into more detail, but essentially we take in, for most sources, we're going to take in a composite and component out. And we're going to get the closed captioning from the yellow composite cable. So we'll take that output into the SnapStream, and the SnapStream will take that closed captioning via the yellow cable there, where the closed captioning resides. Again, we'll go into more detail specifically with your question, but that's in a nutshell how we get in that closed captioning. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in to the software functionality. Now, you can see all I'm doing to log in here is going to cloud.snapstream.com. I'm going to hit the sign in button, and it's going to give me exactly that, a sign in option where I can hit sign in. Now, once I'm logged into SnapStream Cloud, it's going to look like this. We talked earlier about the fact that the guide is going to look very, very familiar to your home DVR. You can see I have quite a few channels here. This is actually a mix of my demo system that I'm showing you today. Is actually a mix of Houston, LA, and New York television channels. Now, how do I get all three of those cities' channels into my guide? Well, I have encoders on each coast and in Houston, where I'm located, that are pushing those feeds up to the cloud. We build that guide out, as I said earlier, for exactly the channels that you have available to you. So I have all those channels accessible to me. Now you can see the red dots here that I'm actually recording most everything. Let's go down here shortly. I'm actually going to turn off the recording here on BBC, so you can see that if I were to click on this recording, actually I'm trying to record this channel, there you go. If I click on something I'm not recording, I get all my recording options. Again, not unlike my home DVR, where I can say record this episode, record all episodes, record all new episodes. The one button that you're not going to have at home is this button right here that says record everything on this channel. It allows me to, in one click, record 24 hours a day on this BBC channel. The important thing to understand with this is that you are able to search on the recorded content that you've recorded in SnapStream. So, not unlike your home DVR, where you can only watch the content you record, on demand, obviously. You need to be recording the content you're going to want to search on later. Now, once you've done that, once you've set up a recording schedule, you're going to have a full library of in progress and finished recordings. And you can see everything with a red dot there is currently in progress. I'm going to just check here for any questions. I do see a question about Australian captioning standards. Do we support them? It's a good question. We do support some Australian captioning standards. I would ask that you reach out and talk a little bit more specifically with my colleague about what you're actually looking for, and we'd be happy to see if we can support what you're looking, the Australian captioning that you have. One more question here. There is a question, another great question. Can you only watch your own content recorded, or is there a chance to watch other channels recorded by other persons? It's a great question. You can watch only the recordings that you're creating. Because these are your recordings, you can interact with those recordings. We don't we don't make other people's recordings available to other people. It is specifically your content. And we do that for a variety of reasons, but mostly you have a lot of say when it comes to your own recordings, and when it comes to providing other people's recordings, you can get into some legally gray areas, so we do not do that. Just making sure we got everything covered here. There was a question, can you be used as a compliance logger? Yes, many organizations use SnapStream as a compliance logger. They need to see what aired on their local channel at 2 o'clock. You can absolutely jump to that moment and see what happened there, be able to create a clip of it, send it off, and so forth. So let's jump back into our library here. You can see all my recordings that I have in my library, my in progress and finished recordings. If I go a little bit further down, you'll see my finished recordings that do not have a red dot next to it. I am recording quite a bit here. Now, let's say I want to jump into this recording, right? Let's go to Peg and Cat. This is something that my son watches at home. If I want to jump into this finished recording, I can just by clicking on it. It's going to take me right to the top of the broadcast. This is on my local PBS affiliate, WNAT. I'm going to pause this for just a second to mention that the recordings that you're seeing as I'm demoing here may have a little bit of a lag or pixelation. That's simply due to GoToWebinar. When you're watching on your computer or on your phone or whatever have you, there's going to be no lagging or pixelation. It's simply due to the GoToWebinar application. Now, I can jump to any point in this recording just by clicking on the bar here, or I can actually jump to that recording to a point in the recording by typing in the word I care about. Now, let's say I want to see where they say the word PEG. I type in PEG. You can see that they've said PEG 16 times in this recording. It actually takes me right to that first media mention. Now I'm at my second media mention, third, fourth, and so on. So it makes it very easy to take a full recording and be able to search very, very specifically for just that content that I'm looking for. I can also make a clip here very easily as well by making a start point, scooting forward just a little bit or letting it play out naturally, and making an end point. You can see I have a 34-second clip, and then I just hit my third button to clip that content out. I can go ahead and give it a title. I can say this is my PEG clip, and it's about dogs, and it's about cats. I can do that clipping just by clipping it out, and it's going to give me a nice MP4 in just a couple of seconds. You can see it's finishing that clipping process. I can also create advanced workflows for this clipping process. So if I need this transcoded to a different file format, I need a transcript created, I need all kinds of things that can be happening in the background that can all be taken care of in SnapStream via workflows. So it makes it very, very easy to find to clip that content that I care about out. Now, this is probably not something you're going to be, this type of show is going to be something you're clipping for. Let's say you're clipping something in SnapStream, you're looking for the word, let's say Texas, because I'm here in Texas. Now, I can do a search in my entire library the same way that I search for that single record, or in the same way that I search through that single recording. Now, on my SnapStream here, the word Texas hits on 5,481 results. Now, I'm not going to sit there and watch 5,481 recordings, but you can see the most recent one was on 9 minutes ago on the Chew, where they said, yes, and I went to Abilene, Texas. Now, if that's the media mention I care about, I can click right on it, and it's going to take me to that exact media mention. You can see where it looks like they're in Texas here. Now, again, I can clip that content out. I can grab a screenshot. I can even push that content to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever I need to do, I can do that right away. Now, I may not, like I said, I may not want to sit there and look through all these recordings. Well, I can use my search term, my Boolean search terminology. Again, just the same way you search Google, and statements, or statements, negative statements, to be very, very specific about what I'm looking for. So I can say, you know what, I'm looking for Texas, but I'm looking for the word Houston. Now, if I do that search, I come down to 642 results. Now, maybe I want to be even more specific, and I can say also the word I'm looking for is football. Well, now I'm down to 2 media mentions where they say the word Texas, they say the word Houston, and they say the word football. Here was one 2 days ago on Fox News where they said the Houston Texans football team, and then they said Texas just a little bit lower here. Now, again, I can click right on it. It's going to take me right to that exact media mention that I've searched for, where they said the word Houston, they said the word football, and they said the word Texas. We also have the capability to set alerts for media mentions that I care about. So I can say, you know what, this is my Eric's Daily Alert. It's going to go right to me. And I can say, well, you know, the words that I care about, show you here this in just a second. The words that I care about are the words Texas and football, and then the term, let's say, lunch and dinner. And I can search I'll actually spell that correctly, and maybe I'll get some results here. You can see Texas and football hits on 14 recording results, and lunch and dinner are going to hit on 42. Now I can save that alert, and immediately I'm going to get an email that shows all those search results on my SnapStream. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'm going to get a new email that shows only the new media mentions that have happened between this first and tomorrow at 9 a.m. So I'm always kept abreast about the words that I care about, all the media mentions that hit on the words that I care about. Just bouncing back really quickly, here's that post that I made to Facebook. It's already live on my Facebook account. I could do the same with video. This just happened to be a screenshot. So there's a lot of functionality inside the SnapStream software that we could go into. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to make sure we save plenty of time for questions. There are a lot of people standing by with questions. I'm going to answer some right now, but please keep them coming. If you would like a free demo login to my SnapStream Cloud account that I've been demoing here for you today, please go ahead and you can do one of two things. Inside the question window, say I'd like a demo and give us your email address, and we'll make sure to follow up right after the call here with a free demo login. Or you can actually just email me. My name, again, is Eric Cohn. You can just email Eric, E-R-I-C, at snapstream.com, and just ask for a login, and we'd be happy to send you one right after the call here. Again, send one in the question window, or you can send it directly to me at Eric, E-R-I-C, at snapstream.com. I do want to point out one more thing before we get to our questions here, is that we do have a nice case study write-up that is in your GoToWebinar application under the Handouts tab. It's something that our marketing team put together, and I'd love for you to take a look at it. Again, it's under the Handouts. You can download it right there as a nice high-quality PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and answer any questions that we have here in the window. If you don't have any questions, again, please feel free to ask to send a request for a demo login. We'll get that sent out to you. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Please, if your question has not been answered yet, please just stand by. We'll get to the questions as quickly as we can. Oh, there's my question window. Great. So someone had said, give me just a moment. A really nice question here that we had is, how much footage can you keep in cloud? So it just depends. We can work with whatever you need. Our default starts at 500 gig in the cloud per tuner. But if you need additional archive depth, we can build out to whatever your archive depth needs may be. We do have inside the software, and the person asked specifically about Amazon S3, about offloading archive content to Amazon S3. We do have all kinds of export options to export your content from SnapStream Cloud. Again, you can do all this by workflow, so you don't have to do it manually. And again, S3 is one of those options where you can offload content to S3. We also, in a future version of SnapStream, we're going to allow you to have read-write to Amazon S3 rather than the default. There's a couple of questions about pricing structure. We'll follow up here directly with you. The general pricing structure is based on the number of tuners that you have in SnapStream Cloud. So if you have 2 tuners, it is going to be more than if you had 1 tuner, for instance. Great, we have a lot of great questions. Please keep them coming in. If you would like a demo login, you can request one in the questions window. Please do that. We'll be happy to send you those out right after the webinar completes here. There was a question that says 1 tuner equals 1 channel. That is correct. Well, with caveat, 1 tuner does equal 1 concurrent channel. So if you need to record 4 concurrent channels, you'd want to have 4 tuners. The SnapStream tuners can, as I mentioned, change channels to other channels, so you're not locked to 4 specific channels, but you are locked to concurrent records. So if you had 4 tuners, you would have 4 concurrent records. There was a question that said, can you have one account and multiple users to access the records? So we don't have a per seat pricing on our SnapStream Cloud, so you can have as many user logins as you'd like. If you prefer to have one account and multiple users log in, you can do it that way. I believe my colleague has also answered your question there and can talk a little bit more specifically on your question. But thank you, great question as well. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off the call here. Again, my name is Eric Cohn, and you can reach me just at Eric, E-R-I-C, at snapstream.com. If you'd like a demo login to our SnapStream Cloud that we've been demoing here today, please go ahead. You can email me, Eric, E-R-I-C, at snapstream.com, or ask directly in the GoToWebinar application. Again, thank you for being on today's call, and have a great day. Thanks so much.